Welcome back, painting friends. Today we're going to paint a cocoa and critter picture, and this is going to be a little raccoon with his hot cocoa. Colors you're going to need are going to be green, teal, white, black, brown, gray, and orange. Now, these are my background colors, so you can choose any color you want for your background, and the orange is going to be for my hot cocoa cup. So again, you can always change that around. Brushes you're going to need, I always have my 1-inch flat brush, my 10-6, and 1 round brush. Don't forget to have a cup of water and a rag for keeping those brushes clean. So let's get started. That background, again, you can change that background color. I'm going to use streaks of teal and green together, and then I'm going to blend them. So I'm going to do mostly teal, a little bit of green, and then I'm just going to blend them until I get them where I like them. Now that this is finished, we're going to let this dry. When we come back in, we're going to lay out that raccoon. With our dry background, let's go ahead and start adding in that cute little raccoon. So I'm going to use my number 6 round brush. It's my favorite brush for drawing things out. And my raccoon head is going to be right here. And I'm just going to start with a kind of a rainbow shape. Okay, that's going to be the top of his head. And then from there, it's going to have almost a hook out. So watch this. It's going to be like a big, strong hook out. Those are going to be his cheeks. And that hook out is going to just kind of come the same way back down. And it's going to be a very gentle swoop back in. Now his ears are going to go straight up and then have a curve down. Going to have 3 little hairs sticking out of the top of his head. Now from there, we're going to do the his body, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a small little neck right here. Just a small little rectangle. And then we're going to give him just a bump that's just going to come this way. It's going to be where his arms are. And then a wider bump right here, which is going to be his legs. Now, I'm going to get a larger brush. We're going to paint this entire space in white to give us a nice, clean white background to work with, and then we will move on to the next step. While this background is drying, we can go ahead and take some of our white paint and make some snowflakes in the background. And those snowflakes could just be dots with the back of your brush, or you can flip it around and make some little more detailed snowflakes. That's totally up to you. For this raccoon, I'm just going to keep mine pretty simple. If you wanted to add more detailed snowflakes, like that have lines to them and triangles on them and all the fun stuff, I do have another video that is just about snowflake making, so check that out and you can learn how to make different kinds of snowflakes. All right, with my snowflakes finished, I'm now going to move into some details on my cute little critter. So I'm going to start out by adding some gray paint. So I've got my number 6 round brush and some gray paint. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with his ears. So right up here at the top, I'm just going to fill in the center part right here with some light gray paint. Of course, my white is still wet, and so it's going to show a little bit of that texture that looks kind of like fur in them. And I just realized that I never added his tail in, so I'm actually going to grab some extra white paint real quick. And I'm just going to make a swoop up right here for his tail. I tail's kind of be more like a leaf shape. There we go. Happy I just noticed that because I was about to add some gray to his tail, and well, there was no tail to add gray to. So back to that gray that I was going to do. I'm going to start with his tail, and I'm going to make a couple little sections. So a section here, okay? And with those sections, I'm just going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to make small little lines so that, again, it looks like fur. Back to that gray brush, I'm going to go in, I'm going to create where his eyes are going to be. So I'm going to start right here at the edge of that tip, and I'm just going to kind of bring a line in to come right here to the nose. And right here, I'm just going to bring a line that comes up and then straight down. I'm going to copycat that as best I can on this side. Straight down. Now at this point, if they're a little different, like this one's a little bit wider, I can fix that before I move on. Try to make them pretty similar. Everything above that's going to be great. I'm going to start right here in the center, kind of pull these lines up, just kind of feather them out towards these edges. So all I'm doing, again, small little lines, pulling all those colors up, all those colors, the white and the gray up, and out to that edge. Towards the bottom of his face, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to start right where the neck is and kind of pull these lines out in just a very skinny little area right here, going up towards that tip again. Now, I'm going to draw out where his cup is going to be and where his arms are going to be. So down here, I'm just going to take my gray paint. I'm just going to make a line that kind of makes a sideways L shape here, and of course a backwards one there. That's going to be his arms, which means his cup is going to be right there in the middle. I am going to go ahead and outline that in gray also. So I'm going to make a circle, well, not a circle, an oval at the top. And then you can make your cup any shape you want. I'm just going to go with kind of a classic coffee cup shape right here, okay? The circle or an oval right there. So now I know what I don't have to paint in. And when I'm painting these in, actually, let me finish drawing his arms out. So I'm going to make his other arms come right through there. Perfect. When I'm doing this, I'm actually going to start with black at the tip of his hand. And it's going to transition into a gray. So little skinny little lines of black. I'm going to start right here at the edge of where his little hands are. And when I get to about the elbow, I'm going to start mixing black and gray together. And then I'm going to switch just to only gray as I go up the top of this arm. So itty bitty little lines. Now I'm to the point of the elbow, so I'm going to use black and gray on my brush. And the goal here is just to kind of follow the line of the arm. So my little brush strokes are all following that line, going up to his head. And then down here on these hips of my little guy, I'm just going to take gray and black at the same time on my brush. A lot of gray, a little bit of black, and these lines are going to kind of go at a curve, okay? So when I make these lines, all these little bitty lines are going to go at a curve. So I'm going to pop myself in a speed motion because that is going to take a minute. Let's go back up and work on his face. So I've got my number 6 round brush and some black paint. I'm just going to lay out where his little snout is going to go. And that is going to be a curved line that starts at each of these gray spots and goes right up to that gray spot here. Perfect. And then pretty much this whole area up here is going to be black except for his eye, which I'm going to put 2 eyes in right here. They're going to be tall, nice big oval eyes right here. With a little bit more black paint, I'm going to go right around this eye and just kind of swoop it to that edge. So I'm leaving a little bit of a white space there, but this entire area right here, I'm going to paint in black. So all of this is going to be black. I think I do need to pull some of this gray right here a little bit further. So there we go. All right, going back in with that gray paint, I'm going to add where his chin is going to be. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take gray and white on my number 6 round brush and just kind of make a couple of little lines that go right down here along where his chin is going to be. And I could just take some of those lines and kind of feather them into that white. Maybe add a little bit more white on my brush. I want them to just kind of feather up onto his nose area. And then I'll take my black paint and I'm going to make a small little triangle right here. And the cutest little hook mouth. Now, talking about his neck and his chest and his belly, that whole area, I'm just going to use a mixture of gray and black up here at the top. And then it's going to just go down to a white. So all I'm going to do is just kind of feather these lines, and these lines are going top to bottom, starting at the top with a really, really, really dark gray and black color. And as I kind of bring these teeny tiny little brush strokes down, I'm going to transition to a white to lighten his belly up a little bit. I mean, he's so cute. Let's go ahead and paint that coffee cup in. I'm going to use white and orange on my brush, and I'm just going to paint this entire front of the coffee cup in a bright orange color. Wipe that brush off, grab some white paint, and just on one side I'm going to add a highlight. So I'm just going to take a little bit of white paint on this one side, just kind of pull it across a little bit. And then the exact opposite, I'm going to take that dark orange and go in from this side, just kind of pull it across a little bit. Now his cute little hands, are going to be on this cup, and watch this. I'm just going to go right from where they ended, and I'm just going to make 3 little triangles. I could paint those in black, connecting them to that arm. The back of that coffee cup, I can make a dark orange line. Perfect. We are going to let this dry. When we come back, we're going to add all of those final details to this cute little raccoon. All right, let's finish this cute little guy out. I'm going to start from the top going down. So with his ears, a little bit of black paint, and I am going to take my number 6 round brush and just kind of fan those ears up and out. So I'm using just the very tip of my brush. I'm barely letting my brush hit the canvas. Think about like a little fairy ballerina toes, okay? Just teeny tiny little brush strokes, letting your brush barely hit the tippy top of that canvas, and then you get these really nice skinny lines. Wipe that brush off. I'm going to add some dark gray now right here to this next line. Then his little tufts of hair right here at the top. And dark gray, just kind of filling those in. Now at the top of his head, I'm going to use just a little bit of black paint on my brush. I'm just going to add a couple of lines of black paint in here. I don't want it to be too much. I just want it to be enough where you can really see the texture of his fur, but it's not being too crazy. So if you are struggling with this with your little paintbrush, which I would try it like on a napkin or a piece of paper first, you can always use a Sharpie to do that. But if you just are very gentle with your hand, it should work pretty good. Actually take some of those little black lines all the way down his nose as well. So cute, so cute. All right, let's go ahead and add his eyes in. So I'm going to use some brown paint, but you can make your eyes any color you want. If you want to get like a light blue or whatever, do you. So I've got some brown paint here, and I'm going to make an oval that goes right inside of this space right here. I'm going to take a little bit of black paint and then fill in some area of black as well. And then going back down the next level, I'm going to wash that brush off really good. I'm going to take some white paint and I'm going to add some of those little white lines right in here to fill in this space. Wipe that brush off really well. Same thing with the black. So I've got that lighter black on there right now because it was a little bit wet when I put it on there. So now I can go in with those little lines and add in that texture of fur. And even some of these are okay if they kind of pop into that that white a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of white paint on the top of his nose and just make a small little highlight. I'm going to take some black paint at the bottom, just kind of add a little bit more of a dark layer to it and go ahead and hit that hook lip. My goodness, he's so cute. A little bit of white and a little bit of gray on my brush. I'm going to kind of add a little bit of line right in here around his face. Around his nose. All right, going back in with that little bit of black down here on this gray area. Couple little lines, all he needs. I'm going to take a line and just kind of outline the bottom of his chin, just a skinny little black line. And I'm going to do the same thing for where his arms are. And hit these fingers up one more time, make them really nice and dark, really blend in with that hand that's coming in. Another black line right where his hand and his hips meet, right there, perfect. Now let's go back over here to this tail. So these tails, let's see here, I'm going to add some black lines right at the base of this. So it's going to go from black to white. Above that is going to be the gray. I'm going to use mostly white paint, but just a little bit of gray just for some color to add my lines in this area. I'm going to add a white heart on his coffee cup. You can add any design you want. I usually stick with hearts or snowflakes for my critters with cocoa. I'm going to give him a little white heart right there. And I'll take some brown paint and make my hot cocoa. Now, if you want to add any marshmallows, I just like to take my finger and kind of put some white paint on my finger and just kind of pop some marshmallows in there. It's up to you if you want to add any marshmallows in yours or not. And if you want to add some steam, I like to take some white paint with some water on it, so a little bit of watered down white paint. And then you can just kind of take some steam and kind of roll it on up out of his coffee cup. I'm going to take some white paint on my clean number 6 round brush and add a highlight right here on his eye. I use the back of my brush to add a smaller one just below it. Oh my goodness, he is so cute. All right, well, when you are finished, you know what you have to do. You have to find a color that's going to show up well on your canvas and sign your name. Remember that I never get to see what you're making at home unless you post it to my Facebook page, Painting with a Purpose. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose, so you're kept up to date on all of my tutorials. And remember, as always, stay kind, stay creative, and stay safe. And if you've ever painted with me before, you know that sometimes after I say that, I want to add something else, like a couple of little whiskers. I just feel like he needs them. There we go. All right. Stay kind, stay creative, and stay safe. Have a great day, friends. Bye now.